The biggest thing you need to know about Miami is that Miami is expensive. I'm gonna be honest, it really don't give. One thing you'll learn about Miami is a lot of people say they live in Miami and they don't actually live in Miami. You live in Hialeah. It's Jayla, aka JaiChanellie on the internet. Welcome back to my channel and make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's been a little minute since I came in and checked in with y'all. In the long form format, now I have been posting shorts videos for the past couple of months now. So make sure you're keeping up with me there. But I have not really come and talked to the camera and talked to my people. I have hit and passed my 3-year mark in Miami. So I figured this would be a great time for a little life update. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Now y'all know I am gonna go ahead and do my makeup as we get into this process. Whenever I do my get ready with me, it's about the conversation, not about the products. But if you're interested in the products, make sure you go ahead and check the description box. I'll make sure everything is linked for you below. And I'll also try to mention the products in the video. By the way, the hair is currently giving last day of sew-in, okay? This is a curly sew-in that I did on my hair, and I promise y'all I will be posting the tutorial because I filmed it. Well, I'm posting me doing my hair. I can't call it a tutorial. The leave out is currently blending right now, but if you wait until the end of the video, you'll be able to see the full effect. I will be priming with my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So I have officially been in Miami for 3 years now. If you are new to my channel or you don't know a lot about me, I am from St. Petersburg, Florida, okay? So I'm from Central Florida. So I'm about like 4 hours from home, which is not very far, but I am definitely like away from home in the sense of I don't have any family here in Miami, so it's just me, solo dolo, and I decided to move to Miami 3 years ago because of a work opportunity. We're gonna go in with this Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation in the shade Gingerbread 430N. I was honestly very excited about this move and about the opportunity to live in Miami. Oh crap. Ciao. I wasn't supposed to put that foundation on yet. I was supposed to be going in with my concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Caramel. I'm supposed to be concealing all my little situations, just like acne marks and stuff. I also do not have a mirror in front of me, so we kind of thugging it out. I could go get a mirror actually. Hold on, let me go get a mirror. I'll be right back. I got my false scare mirror so I can at least see what I'm doing. As I was saying, I was pretty excited about the opportunity to be able to move to Miami. I've always wanted to live in Miami, y'all. As a Florida girl who is from not a major city, Miami was always like that big city to me. You know, sometimes you feel like you need a reason to do things. Because I had a job opportunity, it felt like a really good moment because first of all, I was gonna be able to afford Miami now that I had this job. We can talk about work and stuff a little later in the video because I don't really want to start off on that note. But let's just talk about Miami and living in Miami in case you are interested and moving to Miami, you want to know if this is a good place for you. I can tell you about my experience and how Miami has treated me thus far, and then hopefully that helps you out. The biggest thing you need to know about Miami is that Miami is expensive. Miami is in the top 5 most expensive cities in the United States of America. I believe it's the 3rd or 4th most expensive city. Miami is expensive, not just the very flashy, showy things like being on a boat or going out clubbing. No, like your daily expenses in Miami are just significantly more expensive than what I was used to growing up. I went to the grocery store yesterday. When I tell y'all I really didn't get nothing, I got maybe 1 meal, a couple condiments, and somehow my groceries was $58. Me personally, I feel like because Miami is so expensive, it really limits the amount of things that you're able to do for fun. There really are not a ton of free activities in Miami. I'm gonna go in now with my Fenty Beauty We're Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer in the shade 300N and in the shade 370N. Like, everything costs. You gotta pay to park everywhere, which is something I was not familiar with and was not used to. You just have to calculate those costs that you may not have had to calculate in the place that you're from. Off the top of my head, I really can't think of any free activities in Miami other than going to the beach. And as somebody who is born and raised in Florida, who quite literally lived like 10 minutes away from the beach growing up my whole life, going to the beach is not like a big attraction to me, okay? I'm not going out there. It's hot, it's dirty out there, you get sand everywhere. Like, the beach is a cute moment, like a couple of times a year, but I'm not going to the beach enough to be like, oh yeah, this is a really, really attractive part of Miami. On the flip side, I will say there are lots of things to do in Miami. You can always walk around Wynwood and find something to get into, or go to one of the million restaurants that they have down there, and everything is like an experience. It's fun. 9 times out of 10, the food is good. So there's definitely always things to do in Miami. I would say, as somebody living here, Wynwood is my favorite area to be in as far as doing activities and getting into stuff. I actually work in Wynwood, so I'm out there a lot. I want to spend more time just exploring Wynwood. Even like going somewhere for lunch, I'm able to walk to 20 different restaurants within the span of 5 minutes and find something else to get into. Wynwood is technically like the art district, so you have Wynwood walls with all the graffiti walls. All of Wynwood really has graffiti everywhere. Shops that you can walk in and out of in Wynwood. There are a couple of clubs down there, Brick being one of them, that is like a black spot, I would say, that you can go to. Grails is like a sports bar that I've been to a couple of times. So there's definitely lots of stuff to do in Wynwood. That is definitely a place I recommend going if you are coming to visit Miami, or even if you live in Miami and you want to get into something that is going to be cool. Wynwood is definitely the spot for you. There are other areas of Miami that I don't go to as often, like Brickell, for example. So fun fact, like when I first moved to Miami, I assumed that Brickell was the downtown area. And it's just really confusing. Like, if you're from Miami or you live in Miami, you'll understand it, because Brickell gives downtown vibes, but Brickell is not downtown. So Brickell has like the Brickell City Center, which is like a mall area, very nice stores down there. Brickell feels like the central hub of Miami, in my personal opinion. I don't go down there a lot just because you got to deal with a lot of people when you're going down to Brickell, but there are, again, a lot of restaurants, a lot of just beautiful things in Brickell if you're looking for that downtown feel or downtown vibe. Actual downtown Miami, I'll be honest, it really don't give. It really don't give. There's so much construction in downtown Miami that has been going on since I literally moved here, or even beforehand, that it just discourages you from going down there, because who wants to look up at an unfinished building for 3 years? It looks like a ghost town on certain streets downtown, and downtown is literally, you know, usually the most populated area in a city, but Miami's downtown is just kind of weird in my opinion. Just thinking of other neighborhoods that I go to or enjoy, the Grove is pretty nice, and I would say it's more like family friendly. It's more South Miami. Coral Gables area, which is where the University of Miami is located, all of that is like the suburbs area. But it's very nice down there. Very, again, family friendly. There is a brunch spot that I absolutely love down there, Green Street Cafe. They have the absolute best coconut French toast I have ever had in my entire life. Like, amazing. There are lots of parks down there, lots of just walkable shops and areas down there. Design District. Design District is where basically all the designer stores and shops are. I don't be in the Design District a whole lot because I ain't buying designer, baby. I ain't got designer money yet. There is a Sephora down there, so I do go to the Design District occasionally. But honestly, that's for the people who come to Miami to floss. You know, they come in to do their big one. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't spend a lot of time in Little Havana, so I can't tell you a whole lot about Little Havana, which is obviously a very historic part of Miami, but I don't really be down there. I went to Calle Ocho like 1 or 2 times for a parade. Yeah, I don't really be out there a lot. Oh, Overtown is a historic Black neighborhood in Miami, and I've been out there a couple of times to go to Red Rooster, which is a Black-owned restaurant out there. I've been out there for a food and wine festival before, which was amazing. Again, Black-owned restaurants, Black-owned shops and businesses. There's a place called The Urban out there, which is a club. I was gonna call it a nightclub, but they do day parties as well. They do brunch on Sundays, like a turn up lit brunch. They do events on like Friday or Saturday nights. If you're looking to get into Black culture in Miami, Little Haiti is also a very historic neighborhood in Miami. I will say that I'm driving through Little Haiti almost all the time because I work in Wynwood, and Wynwood is technically part of Little Haiti. Hold on, y'all. I'm setting my concealer with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder, and this is in the shade Banana Bread. Wynwood is technically part of Little Haiti. They just kind of gentrified it a little bit to make it more of an art district. I remember coming down here like in undergrad, like for my 21st birthday. So that was almost 10 years ago. Dang, I was 21 10 years ago. That's crazy. And yeah, Wynwood was definitely not as developed or not as big. Kind of creeps into Little Haiti. You can't go see Little Havana without coming to see Little Haiti, okay? You can go to Chef Creole, which is a Haitian food spot out here. I won't say that there are a lot of like sights to see in Little Haiti. It's kind of just like, it's a neighborhood, you know, people live there. That's where I be at in Miami, other than my neighborhood, which I ain't gonna tell y'all all the details of my neighborhood because people crazy. One thing you'll learn about Miami is a lot of people say they live in Miami and they don't actually live in Miami. You live in Hialeah. And that's no shade, but people are just very used to saying they live in Miami, but they don't actually live in the city. And I will honestly say I have not really explored the neighborhood in which I live, because when I come over here, I'm coming home. And I'm coming to this apartment right here, and I'm enjoying these 4 walls that I pay a good penny for. Now, another thing that I just will say in general that people really don't seem to understand unless they are from here or live here, Miami is not Miami Beach, and Miami Beach is not Miami. Y'all are thinking South Beach, Club Live, Collins, Ocean Drive, all these references and stuff that you may hear in pop culture and a Drake song. Those places are places in Miami Beach, which is technically a completely separate city with a separate mayor and everything. That is not the city of Miami. You gotta go cross that bridge to get to Miami. So if you are coming to visit, just make sure you know, like, what are you trying to do? What area do you need to stay in order to get to everything that you want to do, okay? Because if you stand in Miami but going to Miami Beach every day, it's a lot of commute. I'm gonna speak for a lot of Miami people when I say people who live in Miami, they do not be on South Beach. It's a tourist trap, to be quite honest with you. I've only been to South Beach once in the 3 years I've lived in Miami. People who live in Miami and want to go to the beach, they're going to any of the beaches that are in the north area or mid area of the beach. But yeah, just something to take note of. If you're coming to visit and you want to be in the mix, you want to be in the action, South Beach is definitely the place for you. But if you're not trying to get caught by traffic, I would highly recommend you exploring the other beaches that are more north. So yeah, y'all, I feel like that's my little rant about Miami in itself. Let me know if you have any other questions about Miami in the comments below. Now we can talk a little bit more about like my experience in Miami over the past 3 years. I know in my last life update, I feel like I talked about my desire for community in Miami and how that's going for me. I talked about wanting to move. I talked about a lot of things, so I kind of want to give y'all an update about where I am on all of those things. So the contour stick that I use is actually from Fenty Beauty. This is their match stick in the color Truffle. Yeah, I like Miami, but I don't know if Miami is where I need to be right now at this very moment. And that is not due to Miami treating me poorly or anything like that. I would definitely consider living in Miami long term. The biggest issue I've had in Miami is just the lack of community. I have not been able to foster a community in Miami, and it's been 3 years. Okay, that is a very long time to kind of feel like a loner, like a lone wolf. And the last time I talked about this, I was crying. I ain't crying this time because I have accepted my fate, but I know that something needs to change because I can't keep living like very isolated like this. I feel very isolated just because, again, I don't have no family here. I moved here by myself. I honestly don't go home a lot, and I really don't have the desire to go home a lot. So it's not like, oh, you just need to visit your family more. No, that's not really what I'm looking for. When I moved away from home, I think it was a great decision for me. I think it was about time. It was time for me to take that next step in my life. So I absolutely don't regret doing that, and I like having my independence. I like living in a different area. The answer for me is building community where I am, and I just have not been able to crack the code on that. I know I talked about this the last time of like, okay, maybe you do it by doing the hobbies that you enjoy. I've been going to dance class in Miami literally basically since I moved here. I've been going to dance. I have not met a single friend from dance class. And I know I talked about this in my last video. I won't get too much into it, but Miami girls can be cliquey. When I say girls, I don't mean literally like the girls only. Just the culture of Miami is very, you know who you know, and if you don't know us, they're not very open. There's no Southern hospitality in Miami, which is very different from where I'm from, but also makes sense. So I would say Florida is an anomaly in the United States of America. Everywhere else in the Deep South, there is a culture of Southern hospitality. There's a culture of making people feel welcome. Who are you connected with? Who are your people? Like, that is just a very Southern thing to do. That culture is not very prevalent in South Florida. The more north you go in Florida, the more Southern you get in culture. There is no Southern hospitality here in Miami, baby. These people say we are not from the South, we are from Miami, and act accordingly. And I do think there is a cultural difference. You know, Miami is very, very largely Caribbean and Latin American, and those cultures are very prevalent here. So you don't get as much Southern Black American culture. Black people will walk past you in the street and not speak, and that's just crazy to me. And I'm not saying that is wrong, because I don't think as an outsider you can ever come into a place and tell people that their culture is wrong. It's just something that I'm not used to and that I'm not comfortable with. Because when you see me, I need you to speak. It's not like New York where people are like mean like mean to you. People are not mean down here in Miami, but they are a little stank. And I think it has been a very big barrier to me being able to build community. For example, I went to a networking event the other day, and for the most part, people were open. You know, the girls were talking, they were networking, the girls were connecting, but there were also people who were still very much clicked up, who very much came with one person and talked to that person the entire night, that very much wasn't interacting with the rest of the people. Like, you still get that vibe, even in very specific situations that are curated to be anti that. Not my cup of tea. A lot of people will form community or make community in the workplace, for example. But I work for a very small company. There are less than 10 people on my team. And when you work with a small team, that can make you really, really close-knit, or it can make you just really want to separate your work-life balance, and that is me. Even though I don't believe in the term work-life balance, I like to call it separation of church and state, okay? So when I'm at work, I am at work, I'm working, interacting, collaborating with my teammates, with my coworkers. But when I get to the home and the outside life, I don't necessarily want work to bleed into that at all. Going in with the Minted Cosmetics blush in the shade Clay Too Much. I do have a discount code JaiChanellie for 10% off with Minted Cosmetics, so go ahead and check that out. Hopefully it's still valid, because I know they did a whole lot of revamping and got acquired and are no longer Black owned, and that's a whole nother conversation for another day. For now, I'm still using the product, so for now, y'all can still use my discount code JaiChanellie for 10% off. And I don't really do nothing else, child. Like, what else do y'all want me to do? That's really all I do. I got me one little hobby that costs money, and then I got me a job. Another thing that I think contributes to the lack of community here is the building that I live in. I might have mentioned this in my last video. I can't quite remember. Apartment building that I live in, child, I have I have my issues with it. Going in with the YSL Make Me Blush Liquid Blush, and this is, ain't no shade name on here, but I think it's something coral. I do not use this as a blush because it does not show up as a blush on me. I use it as a highlighter. Yeah, the apartment building that I live in definitely have my qualms with this. Even though I renewed my lease, I just felt like it was a lot easier and cheaper to stay here than it was to find a new apartment in Miami. But there is no like community aspect to this apartment building that I'm living in. There's just no way to really interact with the other tenants that are living here, so that also has not been a source of community for me. That's why I think Miami just may not be the place for me right now, because I know that like isolation should not be a long-term thing. And it's one thing to choose to be alone. It's another thing to be alone. I say all that to say, I do believe my time in Miami is coming to a close relatively soon. Obviously not right now because I renewed my lease at the end of September. So I definitely have another year here, but I think that's gonna be it. And I know that some people are gonna be like, oh, you just need to go out more and make more connections and go to more networking events and And I'm not gonna say that you don't have a point there. But when I also think about the most intimate, most important relationships and friendships in my life, and I think about the ways that those relationships developed, they were very organic to my lifestyle. And very true to my personality. So my fear is me going out pretending that I'm somebody else, pretending that I'm this social butterfly that goes to networking events to connect with people, when that's really not my life, y'all. That's not my truth. And then, you know, making a friend, and then this friend is very confused when I just want to be in the house and watch movies, because I've given them the wrong idea. I've given them the impression that I like to be outside, and that is not true. I don't want just anything now. I'm not desperate. Your girl is not desperate for a connection in a way that would make me compromise my character, who I am as a person. That's not what I'm looking for, okay? But it would be nice to have somebody to play a board game with. I know somebody's gonna ask, dating non-existent, and will not be existent until I develop the community that I'm referencing. I don't believe that people should date if they don't have a community. That's just my personal opinion. I don't ever think that a romantic relationship should isolate you from other people, and I feel like if you don't have community but you have a romantic relationship, isolation is almost like inevitable. Also, in the same ways that I have not organically run into like friends in Miami, I haven't organically run into anybody that I wanted to date. Come on, face. I have 30 minutes left on my camera and 33% battery, so we're gonna speed this up just a little bit, okay? We're gonna go in with the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. The brows are going to be by Maybelline, this Build a Brow pencil. It's like a felt tip. This is ash brown that I'm going to use. I have a Milk Makeup eyeliner that I'll be using. This is the Infinity Longwear eyeliner in the shade Outer Space. I'll be going back in with that bronzer highlighter palette and using the deepest bronzer as eyeshadow. I do not touch eyeshadow no more, y'all. That's just not my ministry anymore. And then my mascara has been the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick Volumizing Mascara. That has been community or lack thereof for me in Miami. I'll give y'all a very brief update on work. So I know y'all see me in an influencer capacity, but that is not what I do for a living, okay? I do work full-time in a marketing, very fast-paced, very high-demanding job. That's really all I'm gonna say about that. It's definitely been a growth period for me as far as career goes, which is super important because if y'all will recall, I was pre-med for most of my life. It was only very recently, 3 years ago, that I decided that I no longer wanted to be pre-med and that I was going to pursue marketing. And I chose marketing because I was able to take everything that I had learned from social media, from influencer work, and apply that in a brand perspective, okay? And we're gonna end there because I really don't want to talk about work. Again, I like the separation of church and state. So if I'm not at work, I don't want to talk about work. I am way overdue for like a beauty maintenance update. Like, I need to clean up my brows, I need to do lashes, I need to shave my face, I need to shave the rest of my body. Like, there's so many beauty maintenance things. Oh, I need to touch my nails up. I don't think I've even showed my nails on the internet, but this is what my nails are looking like. This was my first fall set. Got a little gradient brown situation going on. But these nails are like 3 weeks old. This one keeps popping off. So it's time for a new set for sure. Let me know if y'all want to see that process. I feel like I used to post maintenance routines a lot more on YouTube, but y'all wasn't really watching them. So I kind of got the message and stopped posting them. So at the beginning of this month, I was actually in New York/New Jersey for work. So I got to experience New York as an adult. It was not cold, surprisingly, y'all. It was 70s, 60s, and that really allowed me to kind of go outside and visit things. We went to a speakeasy. It was an original 1920 speakeasy. We got pizza, mine being dairy free because y'all know I can't do that dairy. And then I met my family the next day in the city because I do have cousins that live in New York. And it was just really nice being in New York, y'all. I've never been a big New York person. I think New York is entirely too busy and the people are entirely too northeast. But as an adult, I was like, okay, New York, I definitely see how this is like a place to be for people. Get places super easy. Again, I went from a whole nother state to New York in 13 minutes and paid $10 to get there. And then while in the city, the metro was like $2.90. Then of course New York is buzzing with things to do. So it was just a really nice experience and a good adult experience to have. I like having those new experiences in different cities and being like, oh, there is more to life than what I've experienced. So that was super cool. And then the very next weekend I went to LA. And y'all already know I love me some LA. I've been out to LA like 4 or 5 times at this point. And every time I've been to LA has been a good old time. I always go out to LA to visit my cousin. First of all, she always knows how to show me a good time. But even when we're not really even doing anything, y'all, it's just really nice to be with family. It's nice to feel that community that she's cultivated. And she, of course, just swoops me right in. So I'm always like hanging with her friends and stuff. And again, it just reminds me of all the things that I'm lacking in Miami. And I definitely think LA is my next step. It doesn't feel like a forever step, but it definitely feels like a next step. And I just want to give myself the opportunity to explore that. Almost done, y'all. I'm just going to go ahead and line my lips with this Nude Sticks Metallic Matte Eye Color. Yes, it's an eye color that I use as a lip liner, and it's in the color G Baby. I'm gonna top that off with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Heat in the color Hot Chocolate. All right, y'all, get into the look, get into the face. Okay, y'all, so that is what's up with me. Now y'all know what Miami is like, how I'm feeling, what my next steps are, what my plans are, and now I just have to, you know, make sure that I'm following through with the plans that I have for myself, which I'm excited about. As you can tell, if you watch my last life update versus this one, I feel like I'm just at a very different place. Like, you can feel the vibes, the energy is different because I know what I need to do now. I'm very happy that y'all tuned into this video to hear my little old life update. I know it's been a while, but I'm glad to get back on your long form feed. Be prepared for the comeback as soon as I can stop uploading shorts every single day. But the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm applying for the Sephora Squad this year, which is a paid partnership program with Sephora for beauty influencers like myself. Really hoping to get into the Sephora Squad. And if you want to help me get there, please, please, please leave me a testimonial. I'll leave the link in my description box below. And I'll also pin the comment so you can help me out there. I would really, really appreciate it. And it would help me like take steps towards being a full-time influencer rather than having to work full-time and be an influencer. There'd be a lot sometimes, okay? Oh, and I promise y'all I would come back and show y'all how the hair was looking once I took out my little twist and blended the leave out. Get into the hair. This is my DIY curly sew-in with leave out. And yes, y'all, I filmed the process. I will have it for y'all. I just gotta edit the footage, okay? It was a struggle, but she came out cute though, okay? Getting to her. Make sure you stay tuned to my channel so you don't miss this video as well. And if you ain't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. All right, y'all, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
To be educated, but I'm so frustrated.